I want to build up my Kerbin system infrastructure. So this is infrastructure in around Kerbin, in around the moon, and in around Minmus, with vessels that are able to traverse back and forth and be reused on a regular basis. And the first in that series of vessels was this one, the Nerve 1, that went up a couple of streams ago. It is capable of moving around between Kerbin and the moon and Minmus at will. Last episode, it went out to an orbit, a retrograde orbit at that, out past the moon, serviced a satellite, came back down, and now it's back here. But the thing is it is pretty much empty of fuel, so we need to fuel it up, and there's no fuel on this vessel. And I want to do that before I start building up my moon infrastructure, because I want this to be my transport for Kerbals and for some cargo between Kerbin and the moon and Minmus, because that's the whole idea. I want to stop building these one-off vessels. I want to build vessels that I'm just going to keep. And what that means is I need to bring up a bunch of fuel onto this. As well, rather than going straight to a base because this thing can't land on the moon, what I want to do is, after I have added a fuel module onto this, to start working towards building a moon station, a station in orbit about the moon that this thing could travel to, dock with, and then have a lander on that would take it down to the surface and down to the base. So again, this is going to be over a period of a few streams to kind of put that all together. All of it being eventually to do this contract and the ones that are with it here, like, you know, gathered scientific data and all that kind of stuff. But with that out of the way, I guess we really got to get started with the build of bringing up a fuel module. So I'm going to exit out of here and get back to the Space Center. And yes, for those people, I'm sure that you've heard, anyone who'd be watching this probably has heard the KSP2, their science mode. They released an announcement and a bit of a trailer, which actually I've avoided watching because I don't want to spoil myself, but for their science mode that is coming up in December. And I do plan, just before, for people that are wondering, I do plan to go back into KSP2 in a live stream format and kind of see what's up. So I'm going to actually avoid everything about that game, and when it comes out and when I have it, I'm going to do a live stream blind and jump into it and have you folks kind of follow me along, as it were. So that's going to be my plan with KSP2. And if KSP2 turns out to be, with the science mode, turns out to be great, something that I'm enjoying, then I'll keep live streaming with it, and then I'll play it by ear, how we proceed after that. What other kinds of videos or shorts or whatever might go along and complement that. But at first, it is going to be a live stream. And for those people that might be worried about my RP1 series, I have absolutely zero interest in dropping that. I am going to continue with that. I am having a lot of fun with that. No matter how great KSP2 is, I will continue with my regular every other week drops of those RP1 videos. The next one, by the way, is coming out on Saturday. So there we go. So anyway, let's start by bringing up Kerbin Station here in its current state. There it is right there. And we will, let's see if I can, I just want to rotate, there we go. I want to rotate it on its side. I like building modules for stations in the spaceplane hangar because you have that lateral motion to go back and forth. So what I'm going to do is, this is the Kerbin Station in its current state, and what I want to do is add on to this. And actually, one of the things I really want to do is, because this part of the station is really quite old with its 0.625 meter docking ports, I want to cover up this 0.625 meter docking port. So there's nothing but, so they're gone. I don't have to worry about them anymore. So we're going to start with a 0.625 meter docking port. There it is right there. And we're going to zoom in here and stick that on the end, and then we're going to expand out with some structural bits. This is actually going to be a pretty, I think, straight up simple build. Whoop, that obviously has to go around that way. And then I was thinking, because I want to bring up a bunch of fuel, and I could get into using these types of, well, not that one as big as that, but like whatever, you get the idea. But tanks that have liquid fuel and oxidizer and just take the oxidizer out, because of course the Nerv 1 being nuclear doesn't use oxidizer. But this actually has a lot of dry mass associated with it when you compare it to the tanks that are like, oh my gosh, we're already straight up like these guys. If you compare it to these guys, which are only liquid fuel. So I want to build it out of these guys. So what I was thinking, if I get back into structure, is if I get the stack quad adapter like that, and then maybe stick on some of these X1s here. Oh, I gotta go to radial. There we go. 4-way symmetry. This kind of a thing is what I'm thinking about. Like as a kind of a module. And then another quad stack coupler. Now, if you're gonna do this, when you go to put this one on the end, you gotta be really careful, because if you stick it on, I'm still on 4-way symmetry right here. See that? And you can actually see, you can see it, that it's there. But there are 4 of them all right on top of each other. If I pull these apart, it's really obvious. So to avoid that, make sure you are on 1-way symmetry. Oh, that's the tri-coupler, silly. The quad coupler. And, you know, when you click it on, an important thing to recognize is that although it looks like it's attached to all 4 of these columns of fuel tanks, it isn't. It's only attached to one of them. The rest of it are just kind of dummy attachments. So it's a good idea. It is a good idea. Where are we here? To get into the struts. That's what I'm looking at. And use struts to really make sure those attachments, that it really, really is attached. And I'm just going to strut really simply, yeah, just straight across. I think that'll work, right? I'm not sure that's attached. I don't think it is. Let's see. Would it be better to go? Oh, no. Okay. No, we're going to strut this way. We're going to strut this way. I think that'll do it. Okay. And I'm going to change these. Let's see. I do have some extra textures thanks to the ReStock mod. Doesn't change functionality, but does make things look a little better. And then this should be a little bit more solid here at the end. Actually, why don't I, instead of doing what I'm doing, take advantage of symmetry. Silly pants. There we go. Now they're all on there. There we go. That looks a lot better. And so that gets me, according to Kerbal Engineer, how much liquid fuel is just in this module. Where is it? There it is. 3,200 units of liquid fuel. The Nerv 1 I looked at has 600 units of liquid fuel that it holds. Oh my gosh, I didn't get that sentence out. And so that's like over 5 times it can fill that up. So that's going to be plenty for the Nerv 1. That'll keep it happy for a while. I also want to put on some monopropellant cans. I always forget with these things about the monopropellant. I'm just going to grab some of these Stratus 5s, maybe, yeah, 6 of them, and just kind of stick them on like this. So basically, that's about it. Let's see. We'll finish this off with another docking port at the other end. That's the small one. I thought that'd be... Oh, it is big. Oh, I'm multi-symmetry here. There we go. And sticking with structure, a structural fuselage. And you know what? Let's go with 2 of these structural fuselages. Well, thinking about... Sure. I'm thinking about my space plane. Maybe 1 is enough. Because the space plane has docked here, but it's a little bit tight. It might be nice to give it some nice clearance over there at the other side. It's far easier to transfer fuel if I use the Mark III tanks. That's true, but I'm fine with. I like it. Sometimes you go for also with aesthetic choices rather than. And it won't be that hard. It's not that many tanks. And we'll put that on the end here. Like so. And in fact, speaking of aesthetic choices, I'm going to grab, and although it is completely unnecessary, I'm going to put some more on this side just to sort of balance off the ones that are on that side. There, I think that looks pretty good. Now, I do have the simple repaint mod. You can add some colorization. don't know where I'm going with this. The red's very red. Let's just go with a light gray like that. So there we go, or a light brown. Maybe this part. You can recolor almost all the parts, which is really nice. I'm going to leave those white. Actually, this might be a little bit too much. Let's maybe leave everything white in the middle. Well, I can't recolor that. I said almost all the parts. Yeah, let's leave it white in the middle like that. Okay, and of course, got to put on some lights. I'm not a big fan of auto strut. I tend to, I don't know why. It feels, I like physical struts as opposed to the auto struts. That's just a personal choice really on my part. No super duper valid reason for that. Yeah, I just like the physical struts. Auto struts sometimes can, I use them when I have to, but that's about I would say the end of it. Let's see. Oh wait, here. Beige you. That's not very beige. Okay. Lights on. And we will turn the pitch angle down. That, oh, that's the rotate angle, silly. There we go. I'm going to kind of light this up. Let's look at the color one more time. Wow, okay. Doesn't really want to. That's fine. They look okay. I'll pull them out just a little bit. Notice them clipping into the textures there. There we go. Happy with that. Okay, lights off. I will warn people, I do have a message at the top that say if you want my attention, @MikeAben will increase the odds of me noticing it there. I'm really, really bad for that. And I'll let people know I am the worst when I'm building. That is when I'm really struggle with paying attention to the chat. Okay, two-way symmetry. Going to put some navigation lights. We'll call that the top end. So as you're coming in, red's on the right is going to be a rule I have. There we go. Red on the right. We'll paint that like the... Oh, it really doesn't want to go beige. Or maybe you have to do that, then do... Ah! You got to go white and then go there. Okay, that seems to make a difference. And we'll put on the blink. Put on the blink. There we go. And on the other side, same idea. Put on the blink, but this guy, remove it from symmetry, make it green. Now, if I change these to white and then go to beige, there they go. Yeah, I almost like them better when they're black, actually. Now that let's put them back to black. Okay, that's that. I want some lights pointing the other way too. I went with 6-way symmetry on those fellas. I don't want to put 6 lights, but how about 3? When I'm playing with lights this quickly, you know this isn't going to be a very long build. Light up kind of this middle zone. Again, we'll just pull them out a little bit, so they're not clipping into the texture. Look all right. Yep. Okay. And I'll leave them black. Leave them black. Lights off. Okay. It's red on the left, but I don't... yeah, it's red on the left. If this is the top, technically that's a left. But if it's a mooring, does it work that way? I'm just making stuff up. I don't know. I know in navigation, if you're coming into a port, red's going to be on your right. So that's kind of the way I was thinking about it, like in naval navigation, nautical stuff. Okay, I think that's about it. Honestly, I think that's about it. So what I'm going to do... We'll save this guy as Kerbin Station. This is my new Kerbin Station. Clearly, though, we got to bring this thing up. So we got to move it to the vehicle assembly building. So to do that, I'm going to make that docking port there the root part. No, I'm lying. I'm going to make this docking port the root part. We're going to take this. We're going to chuck it away. Remember, I did just save that. We're going to switch over to the vehicle assembly building. And we're going to take this and we're going to build a rocket under it. Oh my gosh. And this is the fuel module. Kerbin Station. I guess that was already there. Fuel module. Oh boy. Be in the middle, you. Just trying to get it to the middle of the circle. There we go. And we'll just, up we go. I'm sure that's close enough. Alright, so we got to build ourselves a little bit of a tug under this. So I'm going to build, let's see. Yeah, we'll keep this simple. Let's just get a probe body. I'm going to use, I always get mixed up. Is this the one? That's the 1.25 meter one. That one there. We'll make it the root part now. So that's what we'll be flying by. We're going to put under a set of reaction wheels. There we go. And we're just going to build ourselves a little tug. I want the tug to have maybe 1200 meters per second. A TWR around, you know, around 1-ish. So we'll stick a tank under here. Let's see. If I throw a poodle under that, what's that going to be like? There we go. Oh, that's lying. This is... Oh, I need more fuel than that. TWR is a little low, too. Okay, so... Gonna need something bigger. Let's think about a transition, then. What do I have for transition parts? 1.25 meter do I have any... Well, I do have... That's 2. Don't like that. Well, that's a 1.875 meter part, but it's getting into the right DV range. Just put you aside for now. How about this one? Well, that's a little better. Still a 1.875 meter part. What do I get? What if I get into the next size up? That's the same, isn't it? Yep. Okay, we got that guy and this guy. Well, that's more DV than I need. That's less than I need. What about a 1.875 meter tank in between those? That's in the ballpark of what I'm looking at. 0.8 thrust to weight ratio. You think of engines. Is there a better engine choice? Something that's in the... I'm going to go again, just go this by size. 2.5. 2.5 meter engines. Got the skipper, got the poodle, got the mainsail. There's more, though, isn't there? Oh, really? Mastodon will be too big. Okay, let's go to engines. Wolfhound, how are you gonna do for me? Are you too? That's a 1.1. That's a lovely. That's... Oh, this is lovely. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. I'm gonna throw all this away. Look at that. I like it a lot. Play with some variants. There we go. Lemons. Yeah, I like it. I do like it. Okay, so there we go. We need to enclose all this. So let's get some struts. Well, glad you can make it, Rusklish. I know catching these streams are always kind of awkward. I kind of do them on my schedule rather than other people's schedules. Okay, I'm just going to strut this up to just firm up this little connection here. And I need a fairing. And what I am debating is where to put that fairing base. Whether I want to enclose all this in a fairing or just, you know what I might just do? This will solve my issue here. Come up to the top. My favorite trick in the world is, let's see. If I take, what size? Let's go for the 1.875 meter fairing. Turn it over. Boom, like that. Turn on the interstage nodes. Move it up a little bit. And then build that fairing around like this way. Boom. Boom. And you can sort of bring it in. And... oh, is this as far? Nope, nope, nope. Still going. I was worried this was as far as she was going to go. Okay, and then that'll be... and then I can just put a nose cone on the top of that. Of course, what I'm forgetting in all of this, let's put it aside, is RCS. This thing needs to maneuver itself, doesn't it? Where's the center of mass of all this? Around there. Okay. RCS blocks, because it's going to need to dock. Let's... if anything, the mass will move upwards. So let's go with here. And we will go in here and remove the yaw, pitch, and the roll. And then 4 more. Oh dear, it's doing it that, is it? Are you going to really do that? Because you're a bully? See how it wants to put them... I'm going to have to put them one at a time. I hate you. Try it one more time. Nope. Fine, be that way. So... usually want to equal it around the center of mass, but the center of mass will creep up as these tanks empty, so maybe around here-ish. Unfortunately, I'm just going to have to go around and put them on manual-like. Just pay attention to where I'm... okay. Though it's not a big deal, I probably do want them more or less in the same position. I'm sure it'll work either way. I'm sure that'll be fine. All right, in my mind, this is a vehicle. So we're going to remove this interstate, or remove the truss structure. In fact, if you want to, you can remove the interstage nodes too once it's up there and attached like that. And we're going to put a separatron. In here, upside downy, and we're gonna slide her in. Actually, yeah. And you actually kind of want to put it deliberately off the center a little bit, because that will fire the nose cone off towards the side when this is all done. I just gotta think about what else I gotta do. Do I want to... yeah, it doesn't need all that fuel, but I will have all that thrust, so it'll go off in a good little punch. We also want to put this docking port into the staging. So at staging, it's going to decouple the fairing, it's going to decouple that, and it's going to fire that off all at the same time. Beautiful. Now I can build the fairing. Build me a fairing. And why am I having... oh, it says edit fairing. Delete fairing, build fairing. Coming a little. We're squeezing around those blocks, and boom. Beautiful, like that. And clamshell deploy up to 4 sides. Jack up that ejection force. And then a nice nose cone on the top. And then I'll take some time to take a look at the chat. That's not the right size. I'm going to keep guessing till that is definitely not the right size. I must have a 1 point. Don't know my parts well enough. You? Oh yeah, you're the... you are the official 1.875 meter nose cone. There's not another one, is there? Nope. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't want to rebuild. I'm seeing from Nathan, you could build your tanks radially around the center girder instead of the quad coupler, and then the symmetry would be nicer, and that's 100% true. I need electricity. Thank you, Ahmed. Yep, I do need electricity. I'll put that on in a second. But that requires rebuilding this, which I'm too lazy to do. Okay, electricity. Very good point. So what we'll do it is not going to require a lot, so we're going to get into here. Grab some of these Oxstat solar panels. 4 I'm sure will be fine, and then some 4 of these. I'm sure that will be absolutely ducky for the amount of time that this thing has to fly for. Yeah, we'll go with that. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so next is build a booster underneath that, and then this thing is done. And we're going to fly it up to the station. So a 1.875 meter decoupler, that is this one, I think. It certainly is not. Actually, that's like a 2.5 meter. Yeah, that's a 2.5 meter part. That's that one. And then, let's just go, we're at 2.5 meter size, so let's stick with that with the, or we could go bigger. Let's stick with it for now. We'll go with the Jumbo 64 fuel can, which is you. And we'll stick a mainsail, sort of a, okay, and I'm looking for a Delta V, I don't know, get to the station, maybe 3,800 meters per second. Not enough. Also, I can tell not enough thrust either. So we need to go a bit bigger. So why don't we take that off and go bigger, go wider, bigger engines. We definitely have them. Like, go to the next size up. So there's that one, and then this, that's the really big one. This one, I guess. This is the S3 1440. Is that the biggest in that sort of series? I guess it is. Up a little bit. I feel like I'm going to need more, but let's get a nice big, I could go, oh, this guy. What do we get when we put U on the bottom? That is a mountain of thrust, but not enough Delta V. But of course, with enough thrust, all you gotta do is add on more fuel. So what happens if I put on another one of these fellas? There we go, 36, it's still a lot of thrust, not quite the Delta V, but a little bit bigger. And I think I'm there. I want the S3 size. I guess that one? I guess that one. Very happy with that. Very happy with that. A little higher. Yeah. She's tall, but I like it. Okay, so a whole lot of fuel going up to the station. Let's check our staging, because it is obviously in a bit of a state. That gotta go, that gotta go. I'm gonna push this up into its own stage up at the top. This is everything that gets the fairing and the nose cone and everything to disengage. This needs to go here. That makes more sense. Okay, and oh, now I got a lot more Delta. Why is there suddenly so much Delta V? Oh, the staging was borked. Okay, boy, I have way more. Okay, maybe I'll go back. Let's take this off. Maybe I'll go back to what I had before. But the staging was borked there, and it was giving me an in. It felt kind of big. I thought it felt kind of big. Let's go back to good old. Or I might shrink down. Okay, again, check staging. Okay, that makes sense. That's not enough, but it's a lot of thrust. Okay, so we'll stick another of these in there. Yeah, not quite enough thrust though. So maybe I shall go to the bigger size but smaller. I don't think I need that big an engine. Let's go back to engines again. I mentioned it before, I so rarely get this late in the tech tree that I don't know the later... I usually finish off the tech tree and then I'm kind of done. That can't be right. What's a mainsail got for thrust? I want something a little bit... But I don't know these later... The tech at the later scale. So mainsail's 1500 meters. Okay, here we go. A Rhino. What's the Rhino do for me? I just don't know this stuff well enough. Not bad, but not great. I think that's meant to be something. That's a vacuum engine, isn't it? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I could... Poodles. Kodiaks. It's too little. Alright, maybe I'll go with this. Fine. Be that way. I could put a cluster of other things under there, but maybe it'll just be this. And then if it's too much engine, it's too much. I don't want to spend too much time with this. There we go. Back up here. Of course, having these in a more sensible order would help, wouldn't it? I think I keep looking at the wrong... Yeah, this is 40,000. Oh my god, this is way, way more than I need. 3850 is more than ample. Let's just do this. Stop fooling around. It's overbuilt, but I don't care. There we go. Maybe a set of reaction wheels tucked in here wouldn't be a terrible idea. Just an extra set of the big ones right in there. There we go. Okay. Let's turn down that launch TWR. Because it is amply... It is on the big side. There, that'll do her. Launch clamps. Okay, and what do I got for textures? Now, I can't color this. Look at that. I don't have textures, but I can color that. Like I can make, if I make this all orange, hey, look at, unfortunately it colors like the engine bells too, which I'm not sure I'm a fan of. Making aesthetic choices. There, getting those lines to kind of match up. I think I'm going to stick with this. Stick with this. Let's do that. More lines, black and white on the top. Sure. Sure. Okay. And then we're going to get in the action groups that deal with this stage, because I'm always finding it a pain to know exactly where should this be staged. This is, again, the fairing and the nose cone and all that stuff. So I found the best things, just put her way up at the top, and then go to an action group. And on action group 5, I don't know why I picked 5, but I do. Action group 5, I'm going to deploy the fairing. We're also going to get that clampatron. For people that don't know, you can access parts from the staging list too, rather than hunting for it in there. And we're going to... Oh, I still have to click like that. Okay, there we go. We're going to undock that node. And then we are also going to fire off that. Toggle that engine. So when I push 5, all that separates. Okay, and again, I'm taking a look at the chat now, but I do it in chunks when I'm building. Okay. I like putting the clamps in a different stage. A lot of people don't do that because I know the engines go to full thrust like almost pretty much immediately in this game. But to me, I like firing the engines and then release. You can definitely put them on their own stage. It works just fine, but again, that's just me. I should put some form of aerodynamicness down here at the bottom, I'm thinking. Just like that. I think we're good. I think we're ready to give this a go. So boomity 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Yep. Okay, save, launch. Okay, there he goes. Look at that. Oh, it's sunset too. Sunset launch. Yeah, there are definitely things I do simply because I like doing it as opposed to any sort of real strategic reason. Look at that. The station's coming right overhead. I'm going to launch. We're going to launch like now. Or launch now. Now. Okay, and again, as always, if this blows up, it was a test. Because there's always the distinct possibility in all of that that I missed something. Okay, get up a little over 50 meters per second. I'll start tentatively pitching this over. Because a tall rocket tends to want to fall over quite a bit faster. But actually, this is not bad. Let's lock it onto prograde. And hopefully I can just kind of keep it locked on prograde. Want to keep the heading at 90 degrees, so a little more the north here, see where it settles out. Little wonky, little wobbly, not terrible. I've flown a lot worse. For such big engines, they're not very loud. A little steep on the ascent, but this thing's got way more fuel than it needs, so I'm not worried about it. As long as it's stable, I'm happy. I think it's settling in on 90 now. Okay, gonna reduce throttle, getting around 55 seconds to apoapsis, so I want to kind of keep that close by. And then hopefully the rest of this is just riding it up. Riding it up. Hey, I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, I guess that's true. The news of this week is definitely KSP2. And I try my best of not getting too hyped up about these kind of things, but you know, having an actual game, a science mode, a tech tree to unlock, objectives as opposed to just playing in a sandbox is certainly going to help me enjoy the game a lot more. And it seems like slowly but surely, more and more of the bugs are being addressed. Not too dissimilar, honestly, than what KSP1 was like in its early alpha days. But then again, it certainly didn't have the price tag that KSP2 did, so you can understand where that's coming. Okay, so we got about 550 meters per second left in this stage. We are getting close to stage separation, or fairing separation time, so I like to do that around 50. I think I'm going to do it right now. So that's 5. Action group. There we go. Hopefully that nose cone will not come back and hit us. And then a little bit we'll lose this stage and we'll just be on the little... What was it? The Wolfhound. I think it's perfectly acceptable for people to say to themselves, I am still going to wait on KSP2. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm making videos, I probably would be doing the same. Okay, about to lose the stage. And now we're on to that Wolfhound, which actually looks great. That looks awesome. More thrust, because it is a much lower thrust engine now. And that's going to carry us the rest of the way to the station. I'll bring up some crew, I think. I think it's time to sort of put some people up there. And, you know, start crewing that thing. I got so many pilots. I got more pilots than I know what to do with. I should just stick up some pilots and leave them up there. Yep, station needs a crew. How can I make Waterfall work? I don't know. I just installed it. I can't say I did anything other than use CCAN to install it and it worked. So there was nothing more special that I did than that. Alright, so we are in space. We're almost at 80 kilometers on our apoapsis, at which point I am going to cut throttle. There we go. Not quite in an orbit yet, but our periapsis is pretty close to coming out of Kerbin's atmosphere. Where did I put the command computer? There is a probe core, like, right here, if that's what you're referring to. That's where it's hiding. Okay, a little bit of circle. Whoa, 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 whoa! I over time warped. Time warp is my enemy. Let's start thrusting early and pitching up a bit because I time warped past my apoapsis. If you look, okay, it's now coming back. Okay, we're good. We're good. I recovered. Let's put it on prograde and finish this off. Thankfully, I wasn't too far from an orbit anyway, so it really wasn't that big a deal. But I did. Here. Let's get my my orbit, and then I'll shut up there. There we go. 80 by 80. Good enough. Okay, so lights. I took the effort to put all these lights on it and didn't. Oh, I should have lit up this middle part. Oh well. It's all good. It's all good. Station time. Station time. Now it's gonna. We're a little bit further behind than where I'm used to being because I just kind of launched. Okay, let's grab this and come around there. There we are. A little bit back. And fiddle with the timing a bit. Ooh, I see 0.1 kilometers there, and as soon as I see that, I want to get 0. Nah, I'm not going to get 0. That's okay. All right. So we got a burn coming up in, what do we got here? 24 minutes. That's true. I can add lights later. And whatever's causing... Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. It could be just coincidence. I've had a couple of Kraken attacks the last couple of streams, as I'm sure people have recognized. Ooh, let's turn down the thrust limiter on that. And the gimbal is as well while I'm at it. So I could use some Kerbals to put on some more lights. Oh, you know what I forgot to... I'm always forgetting. I meant to put a... Well, I always forget because I'm always in such a rush. I wanted to put a storage container on this thing and... Oh, well. Whatever. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. But, yeah, we could do some construction. I've had a few Kraken attacks of late, as I'm sure people have recognized. But, and they've been around doing EVA construction, but that could have been just, I want to be mild in my EVA construction from now on, because certainly aggressive constructing in space seems to invite the Kraken. Okay, here we go. Let's see. 178 meter separation over here, coming up in about 19.5 minutes. That's okay. It's a bunch of fuel. That's the main thing. Yeah, F5. F5. There's F5. All right. And we can, by the way, take this back out of staging. Right? Disable staging. There we go. There's no reason for that anymore. That was just there for the nose cone. Okay. We're going to be at the station in less than 20 minutes. The solar panel was most certainly EVA related, and so was the previous one. It was EVA related as well. But maybe if I'm just it doesn't mean I've done lots of EVA construction. It's not necessarily meaning that every time I do EVA construction, I should expect to get the Kraken to attack me. Okay, there's our station coming up there behind us. couple of minutes away. Let's get a little closer. Okay, about a minute and a half away. See if we can start reducing our velocity and reducing our distance here at the same time. Yeah, let's just lock that on the retrograde vector. Let our cells get closer. Getting the time warp funkiness happening with every time I time warp, these numbers change here, looking at the intersect distance again. And I know I mentioned this because I do a lot of rendezvousing in this series, but keep an eye on that time to intercept. Don't let it get close to 0, but at the same time, don't let it get too high. Like right now, I'm thrusting and it's staying about constant. I love that, right? So I'm reducing my speed. My distance is going up a little bit, my closest approach distance, but I can sort of finagle a little this way, push that back onto the target icon, and let it fall back onto retrograde. And just kind of take your time. And if either this distance starts shooting up, or this time to intersect starts shooting up, cut your throttle, get yourself closer, and repeat. And as you get in, you're slowly closing that distance, you're slowly closing in on that time. Coming in for a nice, easy rendezvous. Okay, we're about 30 seconds away now. Again, just keeping the time. Oh, now it's increasing a bit, so I'll reduce throttle again. Noticing my target icon's way off. Push that way, that way, that way, that way. There we go. And I'm going to put it right off the end here. That's my target. Okay. I probably cut my speed a little too much, but that gives me lots of time to come to here, grab that docking port, pin it, come back to here, lock that. Oh, wait, whoa. I don't know what it's doing here. Set that as a target. Oh, it's flipping around to retrograde again. Retrograde, silly boy. So now we're targeting the actual docking port. Probably want to come... Let's turn the camera this way a little more. Yeah, to the north. Up. Oh, there we go. That's what I want. Just pushing that retrograde that way. Yeah. I think that's better. Think so. Yeah. Though I killed my time, I killed my speed a little too... No, I'm going definitely the wrong way. Silly pants. Silly pants. This way. There we go. All right. Let's set that as our control point. And my one thing I did install that is a luxury item is the Navball docking alignment indicator, which puts on this little red fella that helped me line up my docking ports. All right, I am most certainly coming in very slow. So let's see if we can use some... I think it's more this way, right? Yeah, definitely need to come more that way. No, I can tell I'm missing it. Which way do I gotta go this way. No. That way. Oh, here we go. Now I can see it. I can see my target icon coming up on the Navball. There's my prograde vector. Probably back off a little bit. But if these three icons are in a line, then you are going the right way. Aim our camera down here at the front. Come forward a little bit, down a little bit, left that way a little bit. How do I build a good-looking station? I don't know. My stations have so little plans. And maybe that's something I kind of like. Like, always my designs are organic. If you actually look at previous videos that I have, the stations are very rarely very similar to each other. They're just whatever kind of happens. As I need things, I put them on. We're definitely going to send up some Kerbals. We'll do a little bit of strutting too. But I think we are just about there. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now, one thing I don't like about all this is I got too many here. Let's turn off some of these engines. I have way too many. I think I want to get rid of some of these engines and stuff. Like, there's just... It feels like... Oh, was I using the fuel in... I was. Okay, okay, okay. So one thing I was doing and through all of that was using the liquid fuel in these guys. So let's deal with that right now. I should have turned those things off, but I did not. Because definitely I want these to be all full. There we go. Okay, there's another tank somewhere. That one. Okay, so 8 tanks, and then we'll grab this and just go out. But I want to get rid of some of this junk. Ah, shoot. Out. These extra... And even if it means I'm throwing away some fuel, I honestly don't really care. Alright. So filling that up. Okay, so those are not quite full. Interesting. Okay. Oh, well, that's because there's still this guy. Yeah. Out. Out, darn you. There we go. So those tanks are full. So this is full. These aren't quite full, but they're going to be close enough. I think what I'm going to do, even though... Oh, you know what I can do? Is I can go to this. This is partly empty. And just take some of the liquid fuel out of here. And we'll just dispose of the excess oxidizer. I'm going to get rid of all of these little tugs that I've been collecting. So off. Oh, shoot. Out. Good enough. Maybe a little more. There we go. Okay, that should be good. And I also want to get rid of... That has no more liquid fuel in it. This has a little bit left in it, so we'll just get rid of this. Oh, why did you... In? Oh, there's something that's not... Interesting. There's something blocking the transfer between here and here. In? Nope, now it's working. Good enough. Okay, we're undocking some of this crap. Some of this crap. We're freeing up some docking ports. So we're undocking this guy. Come down here. Put you onto the retrograde vector. Activate your engine. And yes, I'm throwing away a little bit of fuel, but I don't care. So you're just going to go crashing into the atmosphere. There we go. And back to the station, and same with you. Undock. Up to here. Whoa, 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 wrong one. Okay, I keep coming back to you. Oh, you're a stinker pants. Okay. Kerbal engineer to the rescue. Picking my station. Kerbin Station, and just... There's a button here to switch to the target. So much easier than fiddling in map view. Bring up some Nah, the heck with it. I don't care. I don't care. People get... I don't care. I saw on the thing, just bring up some parachutes. No, I don't care. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Throw it away. Don't be a hoarder. Throw stuff away. I don't want it anymore. Throw it away.